Hey, it's Holly. How you doing? So, I'm doing an update, and I'm wearing sunglasses because my eyes have major allergy reactions right now, and it's gross. So, you're not going to see my allergy eyes, because, woo-ha, it has been some serious allergy air in New York City past week, and I've always been on allergy meds. Hurrah, hurrah. But we're going to talk about meds today, too. That's Seashell. That's my roommate's dog. She's probably going to run around a lot in the background because she likes to chase the squirrels. Cool. So, what happened? So, I believe it was the 21st of May. Not sure what happened there. 21st of May is when I went to the emergency room at New York Presbyterian Hospital in Park Slope. It's my old neighborhood, and I like that hospital. Spent a couple hours in the emergency room. I was at a point where I was just in severe breakdown, severe depression, not safe, alone stage of PTSD. And when you realize you are at that point, sometimes you have to take measures that you don't want to, and that's when I went and told them that I needed to be hospitalized. They asked me if I am doing a voluntary admission. Do I want to be admitted to a psychiatric ward? I said yes, and they had a room at Gracie Square Hospital in Uptown Manhattan. Sorry, it's very itchy out here right now. But I was taken to Gracie Square, and I was there for 6 days. When I went to Gracie Square, they changed my medication. They added some medications. I had about a 3-day lifting after starting the new medication. And for more background, I was actually supposed to go on further medication a couple weeks before I went to the hospital. There was some issues with me not being able to place that order through my pharmacy account, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was not the first time that I had someone who was trying to prescribe me additional medications for my depression. Without going into way too much detail, at Gracie Square, I now know what it's like to be in a psych ward for 6 days. I embraced it so fast because I was safe. People were taking care of me. They were looking in on me every 15 minutes. Somehow I managed to get a single room for just one person instead of having to share a room. I was also right across the hallway from the nurses' station, so very noisy, super, super noisy, but that's just kind of part of the experience of going into a mental hospital is there's a lot of noise because there's a lot of people yelling. And so as far as the psych ward, the noise begins at dawn. As soon as light comes through, you start hearing people, you start hearing people yell. And it's usually yelling about medications and yelling that they don't want to be touched, or they just don't want whatever is coming around at that point in time. It could be regular morning medication. It could be just moving things around for them. I'm not sure exactly what sets it off all the time, but be sure there was yelling in the morning. 8:30, the main room, the what did you call it, like the lounge room with the tables and the common area opened. We had breakfast. at 8:30. Something I need to get back on doing, which is waking up early and making sure I start eating 3 meals a day and having my snack. I was very regimented with my food at the hospital. That was very comforting too. I had new medications introduced. I was weighed. I got my vital statistics done every morning. Sorry, touching computer stuff. My temperature was taken, my blood pressure was taken, my pulse was taken. They measured my blood sugars right away when I went there. I just felt medically safe. I felt like if anything was going to happen, if I would actually have any bizarre reactions to these new meds, I would be having it in a hospital. And luckily, I did not have adverse reactions. I actually reacted very quickly and very noticeably to my new meds. I'm not going to say the names right, so I'm not going to say them. I might actually put them on a little thing right here so you can read what they are. One is an antidepressant that is used in smaller doses as sleeping help medication, sleep aid medication. I've been Ambien in the past and all of that, but they put me on this one. I call it the troglodyte one. I think it's trogazone. Anyway, I'll look it up and I'll put it down. And Risperdal, which is an atypical second generation atypical antipsychotic, and it's been around for a minute. It's had a lot of success, first as a drug for schizophrenics and people with dementia, and then they found secondary uses for it, and one of those uses is for additional medication for major depressive disorder, which I am diagnosed with, along with PTSD, CPTSD. If you want to get technical, I have CPTSD because the complexity of it. We can get into that in another time, another story. So, motorcycle. That medication is the one I think has really been what I needed to be on, which is an additional medication for my major depressive disorder because I was suicidal. And that's really why I went to the hospital, because I was suicidal. And to anybody who's out there saying, what do you have to be suicidal for? Dude, it's not something you control. When you have a brain that is wired differently because something happened in your childhood that made your brain develop differently from every other person around you, you don't have control of when these thoughts come in. You have some control of how you deal with them when you get them, and that's, part of the partnership I have with my husband is if I'm ever going off the rails, he has the right to take me to the hospital and do an involuntary on me. If I'm ever on a rooftop and think I can fly, I want my husband to take me to the hospital. It's just simple as that. And I'm glad that I have a partner who took me to the hospital and walked into the ER with me and sat in the waiting room and then came and sat in the back with me and was really helpful. And I'm sad that I put him through that. That makes me feel like shit as a human being, that I put the person I love more than anything in the world through having to watch me straight up break down and be hospitalized. And I know it wasn't easy for that human being to have their spouse in the hospital for 6 days in a psych ward. So anyway, I was there until just before the holiday weekend at the end of May, and I did want to get out by the time the 4th, 5th day. I was like, I want to go home. I want to be in my own bed. I want to not hear screaming first thing in the morning. I just miss my own life. And I was feeling more level. It's just really the best way I can say it. I needed to go to the hospital. I needed that help. And, oops, messages, sorry. It wasn't a choice of toughing it out. It wasn't a choice of pulling myself up by my bootstraps. Anybody who says that you need to just tough it out, mental illness is serious shit. And we've, as a public, watched some of our favorite people end their lives and not understand it. And then there's some of us who watch people end their lives or attempt to end their lives, and we completely understand it. We've been where they've been. We've felt what they felt. And sometimes the only difference is the timing of when that strong feeling that I just want to do what I want to do, which would, very succinctly would be end my life. Those are very real feelings, and they have to be taken seriously. I don't regret going to the hospital. I don't regret getting on new medications under 24-hour medical supervision for 6 days. I still hate myself a good portion of the time, but that's been a lifelong thing. That's what I've had to deal with. Ravens! Crows, ravens, not sure, but they ain't no pigeon. Anyway, this is long enough. Thanks for watching the whole thing if you did. Thanks for listening. Take care of the people around you when they need help and when they ask for help, okay? It's really all we need sometimes to turn that corner. And blessings to all of those who are not around anymore because that time came and they took that step. Just that simple. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.